here. So Tigerclaw tied with Alcatraz in these series, even though Tigerclaw should be favored. But Alcatraz showing that he has some tricks up his sleeve. And speaking of Alcatraz, the Green Zerg spawning at the top position here on NASL's Ohana. Will he get a second game in a row versus Tigerclaw and advance in the bracket?
I'm not sure. I mean, Tigerclaw on the previous map did his all-in style with the Immortals and the Sentries, which is very strong on this map, but at the moment, Tigerclaw has the pylon in his main base, so possibly another gateway expand or a one-base play, which is very much an old style we haven't seen.
True, definitely. Some of the newer players actually that did not experience the beta in the early stages of StarCraft, where pretty much the maps were a lot smaller, one base play or one base opening were a lot more common than they are these days. They might not know how to react to such a play. They might not know the timings. I mean, if you stay on one base and tech up, the tech is so much faster than if you expand in any way.
Indeed, and even having the gas going down now before any sort of other tech, but it looks like Tigerclaw is sending his probe down to the natural for the expansion. So this will be a one-gate expand play similar to the previous game. And he's going in, he's scouting the same build from his opponent with the early extractor. This he didn't see in the previous games, so we will be able to adapt this much easier than previously.
Yes, whenever you see an extractor going down for the Zerg, you pretty much have to commit to sentries. Because otherwise, there's a number of things that can kill you, and especially when you have a ramp, you just need those sentries to hold. When you don't see gas, of course, you know that there is not going to be any early speed, any early banelings, any early roaches, so you can go with the Solid Stalker, but when you see gas, you don't really want to be moving out on the map, just because of the threat of the link speed always.
Absolutely,
Present.
it's very hard to move out once Link Speed is available for your opponent. So Alcatraz hasn't taken his expansion yet. Tigerclaw's sitting there, sees the expansion go down, hasn't seen a probe drone go out to the third base. So he's opted not to get his own natural yet, I hope.
And look at this, we might see a one-base play from Alcatraz as well. Roachwarren almost finished.
This looks like it's going to be a very quickly completed third game, so we can get straight on to watching some other players play, which is going to be a shame. Tigerclaw, very good, a fan favourite, I believe. Having seen the chat, people were crying in despondence as he lost, but Alcatraz playing very well himself.
Yes, he is. He is using his opponent's mindset against him. Now, Tigerclaw still has the scouting probe here, but did not scout the Roachwarren. He knows that there is gas being mined and that it did not stop after the first 100, so he knows something's up. He just doesn't know exactly what. And this is why he is getting...
Sorry.
Yes?
He hasn't seen the expansion either, but he's going in now. He sees the expansion, he's just going to pull back. He knows this is going to be a two-base all-in. And it looks like Alcatraz is gearing up to take his third base by sending a probe out, drone out. Or that drone is just to nibble away at the probe. So his roaches are a little bit more secretive, and then they go moving. Oh, they look like they were going to move out there.
I think this is just a fake, even if the drone would move out to the third expansion, because he's got no intention of taking that. Now, I have to say that Warp Gate is not yet done. This attack will hit ideally before Warp Gate is done. There are no sentries here, no cannons, just 2 zealots, 1 soaker, easily breakable with links and roaches. There is Twilight Council going down, and Tigerclaw is on 4 bases, just now getting his expansion up. So will this just be a pressure? Oh, he sees the roaches.
Right now, I feel that if the Chrono Boost had been going down on the gateway, we could have had units coming out much faster. But now Tigerclaw is starting units from his gateways, not realizing that gateway tech has just finished. So he's going to have to Chrono Boost these, get them out as fast as possible, and try his hardest to defend against this Roach all-in. And he's using the Stalker to try and buy himself time, but that's not going to work entirely effectively. Oh, it is pulling them back. Just a few seconds each time is all that's required to get another unit out to defend against this kind of attack.
My god, and where are the sentries, Ellie? Where are the sentries? There are no sentries anywhere. Stalker's pretty good versus roaches with Zod support. Those Zods will just force the roaches to kite, but when there are no Zods around, those roaches will just have free reign.
One of the roaches goes down, and the sentry is finally getting warped in, and Alcatraz is just moving around to nibble away at the rocks, but Tigerclaw has vision of that, so he should be able to shut that down easily enough.
Well, that being said, once those rocks go down, then Tigerclaw will have two entrances to defend, and frankly, with only one sentry, he's got only one force field at his disposal, and these rocks will go down any minute. Meanwhile, Alcatraz is trying to macro up, trying to sneak in drones wherever he can, but for the most part, he produced largely roaches. And right now, I feel like there's enough stalkers to push this back at the moment.
Tigerclaw is on a higher work account. He has 4 gateways, which if he consistently chrono boosts, he will be able to defend from this attack. But the point is, if Alcatraz does go for a multi-pronged attack, Tigerclaw will be forced to split his units. And we see Alcatraz try and do those small techniques just with 3 roaches up at the top. If he split his units slightly better, due to the fact that his opponent only has 1 sentry, he will be able to do a lot of damage right now.
And more roaches in production, so Alcatraz correctly identifying that if he wants to go through with this, he will need a larger army, but I'm starting to fear for his economy just a little bit. He's still staying only on 22 drones. Again, as I said, he's trying to sneak in drones whenever possible, and this choke is the point of contention right now. It can work both against and for both of these players, depending on how you position your units.
But look at the Zerg units. Most of them have taken some form of damage, whilst all of Tigerclaw's army is still got its full health. So the Zerg army, despite being higher in supply, is weaker just because of the fact that it has taken consistently small amounts of damage whilst trying to poke up the ramps.
Indeed, and while all this tug of war is going down, oh, a gateway goes down, widening the choke a little bit. There go the 2 force fields. I don't know how much good they will do to Tigerclaw. Tigerclaw trying to reposition his army to get a better concave, despite
Tigerclaw
having the...
very well. He's going to be pushing the roaches back down the ramp with very strong micro. And it's just going to take off a few more roaches, and the units are actually looking very similar for each player. 16 roaches to 11 stalkers.
Definitely, and despite having the Twilight Council, he did not make any use of that. That's largely because he did not take those 2 additional gases at the natural. If he takes at least one of them... Oh, there goes the charge? Ah, really? I would have suspected a blink to go down, but charge is also a very nice choice.
It's a very curious choice, increasing the survivability of these stalkers. Having the capacity to move out and then just retreat behind his wall would have been exceptionally helpful. Charge, although is good against roaches because it can get you up close and personal with them, but that's only entirely useful if the Zerg player has speed. And it does look, with the hatchery being morphed into a layer, that speed might be on its way sometime soon.
I think so. I must say that I really like the way Alcatraz is playing this so far, constantly keeping the pressure on his opponent, having a decently sized army, not playing the macro Zerg style, more playing like what we saw from BelleNOiR or Violet lately, the more aggressive style. And, well, problem is, once those upgrades for those gateway units go into effect, then Alcatraz won't be able, without a fully saturated 3-base economy, to beat a 2-base Protoss just with layer tech.
The fundamental point at the moment, though, is that Tigerclaw has been consistently making probes behind this. So it was on 40 to 27, and only now is Alcatraz pouring his money back into drones. So he's catching up quickly, but he's been behind for such a long time that his tech, as you said, has stuttered backwards. And he's not going to have his 3rd base up for a short while. But these units from Tigerclaw are going to get caught massively out of position here.
Yes, they are. The roaches can do some damage, but I think there is just enough sellouts here to kill themselves some of the roaches. Getting a really nice position on Tigerclaw's units here right now. The zealots are all gone. All that remains are the stalkers, and they are on move command. So he lost about 20% of that army without giving any damage back to his opponent. That was a very, very good trade for Alcatraz. Maybe what he needed to get himself back into this game right now.
And Alcatraz is now 40 supply ahead of his opponent. His opponent has cannons up to help him defend, and he will have +1 soon. So this is going to mean Alcatraz won't be able to push up into his opponent's base, and the proxy pylon did sneak down during that engagement, so Tigerclaw can go for a counterattack if he's feeling confident in his defense.
Oh, and more links in production, but you know what? They don't have speed. Roaches don't have speed neither. It is on the way. Burrow is on the way as well, and we do have a Nidus network in production. Oh my god, this is starting to look very, very, very interesting right now.
Absolutely, and Tigerclaw doesn't have vision of the back part of his base, I believe. Oh no, he does. He will be able to see anywhere that a Nidus will come up. So it's going to be very hard for Alcatraz to penetrate his opponent's base whilst taking a third base.
Very nice. Only thing I'm kind of bothered about in the base management of Alcatraz are these rocks that are still in place. I would very much like for Alcatraz to break those down, and here goes the load up into the Nidus network. Where do we have the Nidus building? Where will he? Oh, there is one at the top.
And Tigerclaw's army is completely out of position, and he's not even pulling back to defend against this. This is going to come up, and it's going to force a base trace scenario, and Tigerclaw is warping in units at the front.
And Tigerclaw just doesn't care. He just now heard the Nidus, just now starts paying attention. There are loads of units streaming inside his base. Oh! And all those 4 gates go unpowered. He's pulling back. Not the wisest choice that he could have made. He could have... Oh, now he's very indecisive right now. Going back with his army to attack, knowing that he cannot hold his main base right now.
And this is going to come down to, once the armies start clashing, the Nidus Worm will keep Alcatraz into the game, and the Proxy Pylon will keep Tigerclaw into the game. So eventually these two armies will have to fight each other.
Oh my god, what's the number of zealots here? 20 freaking 7 zealots, but look at the amount of spine crawlers here up this ramp. This can prove to be a little problematic, but you know, Zealots very, very, very good versus Spinecrawlers. Admittedly, they don't have Guardian Shield to cover them, but still very, very good versus Spinecrawlers. And Tigerclaw, interestingly enough, does not decide to push up there. He's going to check for the third base. He is going to see that he is already building a replacement Nexus here at the
and Alcatraz is building a base in Tigerclaw's original base. There isn't very many minerals left, ranging between 80 to 500 on various different bases. But this does look like it's going to be advantageous for Tigerclaw, mainly because of the fact that this base has been completely untouched.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, he still has those Niduses, so he can just unload those units as he pleases. And I have to say, those Roaches have an upgrade advantage versus those Stalkers because they are +2 attack, 0 armor, but +2 attack, and those Stalkers are +1/+1. Look at the arc Tigerclaw set up here. He does not want anything to slip past this Vigilante force right here.
But with the Nidus network available, it can slip past, and it will if it needs to. So Tigerclaw is putting up a pure wall of pylons.
He has 9 spine crawlers in his base. I don't think that base is breachable anytime soon, not with the army defending it. He is returning his forces back home right now, and I would not be surprised if he started looking for where that Nexus of Tigerclaws is being built or was built.
But he's going to see as soon as the gas is placed down at the expansion due to the Overlord placement, which is going to be very lucky for him. Or possibly planned ahead. He could be that kind of skilled player that anticipated this from Tigerclaw. But we finally see Tigerclaw putting down his gateway tech, and his opponent is going to scout him now. This engagement out in the open isn't what Alcatraz wanted to be in. He wanted to be in a choke point, and he has Burrow?
Yes, he had Burrow on the way as he started the Nidus network, and there is no detection for Tigerclaw, so he can just heal up these Roaches. Snipe a couple more Zealots. Oh my god! He's just teasing Tigerclaw right now. Tigerclaw needs a robotics facility up ASAP, but it's going to be some time before he gets an observer out.
And Alcatraz is in a very comfortable position now if he can just consistently keep pushing his opponent's army back. He knows where his opponent's base is, and he's going up to snipe it now. He has one gateway, and he's only just getting his Cybercore now. And this is Alcatraz's game to lose. With Burrow available, he's not going to have anything to stop him. He just needs to basic Burrow micro, and Tigerclaw's in a sour position again. He has to find a new base. And
Sorry,
I wouldn't be surprised if Tigerclaw GG'd right now.
I wouldn't be surprised as well. I mean, that robo facility is never going to get up, and there's the GG from Tigerclaw. Oh my god.